We are fresh off of WrestleMania weekend. This is my friend Dennis Santiago. I've never even introduced myself. My name is Nick Medina, also known as Ricky P, also known as Ricky Mundo.
Let's go.
Also simply known as Rick. And we're going to talk about some wrestling stuff on this wrestling channel that I've never really done before. So, Dennis, how you feeling? How you doing after that WrestleMania week? How did you feel?
Man, I feel, elated, my guy. Just electrified. There is nothing like stepping into a full-on stadium of 81,000 people just losing their mind.
Yeah, I think we broke the record. I was telling everyone at work, I'm like, yeah, we broke the record. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, we were part of it. Like that record is one less without me. So come on.
That's right. And,
yeah.
It was amazing, bro. I was there night 2. I know you were there both nights.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some fun, man. It was great.
Yeah.
I picked up this belt. You feel me?
You had to.
Come on. The Winged Eagle belt.
Yeah.
I know for those of you watching that are some wrestling nerds that watched wrestling when you were a kid, you will remember this beauty right here.
That's legit. That's not no toy belt. That's I bought a belt off of eBay with tag team belts off eBay once, and they were falling apart like a month later. So that'll last, I think.
This'll last, Rick. This is cool, man. I love this. Is this your favorite belt?
I would say that's my favorite aesthetic belt.
Okay.
But my era's belt is the Stone Cold Steve Austin, the bald eagle
with the
circle.
Yeah,
it's a circle.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah.
What's interesting though is that this is like reminiscent of my childhood. So when I started watching wrestling as a kid, like this was the belt.
Yeah.
Like if you were the guy, you had this belt, and the one guy who always had this belt was the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be.
Bret the Hitman
Come on,
Hart.
let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah, I had to get it because of that, right? My childhood,
Yeah.
So, but there's a lot of history here. Your guy was who? Stone Cold or The Rock?
My guy, growing up, was The Rock. Stone Cold was definitely always around. I think after last year's WrestleMania in Arlington, Dallas, Stone Cold is now my all-time favorite wrestler, just because he laced him back up, took a couple bumps, and got back in there. And he can still go if he wants to.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I'm going to put this down real quick.
Yeah, here, let me hold it. Actually,
come on, Ricky Mundo, you got to hold the belt, baby. Let's go.
Just let me hold it in my lap. I just want to look at it
Let's go.
It's going to give me some inspiration. Look at that.
Well, what's dope about that belt, I'll tell you right now, is so your favorite wrestler of all time is Stone Cold, right? Mine is Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yeah.
Bret is the guy to wear that belt probably most often during that era. That belt came out in 1988, and it was first rocked by Hulk Hogan.
Okay.
Hogan brought that on, right? And the last person to wear that belt, you want to take a guess, Rick?
The last person to wear it?
I give you the year.
Was it?
19, okay, so it was from 1988 is when this belt got on the scene.
Yeah.
It was retired 1998.
1998? Was it Stone Cold?
Let's go. Your boy.
Ding, ding, ding,
ding. Of course you did.
Yes, sir.
And then that's where he got your belt, the one that you really like, right?
Yeah.
But what's dope about that, the storytelling, think about it. So when wrestling was hitting its peak, right, during that golden era, like we're going into that era, Hulk Hogan was the guy, the number one wrestler, right? So he was the first one to hold that. And then who was the guy to take wrestling to that next peak, right? Stone Cold.
Stone Cold.
Right?
Attitude Era.
Attitude Era, right? So you see like sort of the bookends, right? You have Hulk Hogan and then you have Stone Cold, right?
Yeah.
And so that's what I love about wrestling, man. It's just the storytelling. And look at that.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, even talking about Bret the Hitman Hart, I realize that's probably one of the earliest memories I even have as a childhood is my dad doing what my dad does even to this day, is chase down wrestlers in weird places, parking lots, bars, wherever. I think he did a signing and we didn't pay for the signing.
Yeah.
So I think we were just at the mall hanging out, and then I guess the signing was done and Bret the Hitman Hart's in the parking lot walking away. And we run up to him, and I don't know if I took a picture with him or he signed something. I don't know where the picture is, but I remember meeting him as a kid, and I didn't even know who the heck this guy was, honestly.
Yeah.
He was gray haired. I'm like, this guy looks like freaking a grandpa. He's gray haired now, so even back then, he's been holding on to that gray hair.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I would have lost it. You actually sent me a picture, right, of your dad. Did he see Bret Hart this weekend?
He did see Bret Hart this weekend. You're right. He was at WrestleCon. Didn't pay for a WrestleCon ticket. He was just waiting outside the thing for the wrestlers, and he met a few people. He was hanging out with Matt Hardy and the Honky Tonk Man, I think it was.
Yep.
Yeah, and some other people. Me and him met Rikishi, which was cool. The part of the bloodline, though. So
yeah.
Rikishi got like I don't even know how many sons, and they're young.
They're young.
I'm like, wait, how old is Rikishi? I'm like, he putting in work, I guess.
Hey, putting in work, bro. You see them moves. You remember him with Too Cool when he did those moves out there. I think that's what it was, bro.
Hottie, man.
He had the Scotty Too Hottie. So he was getting down, and his sons are ridiculous. I mean, those are my favorite tag teams, right? Like the Usos.
Oh yeah, Usos got it.
And then Solo Sikoa, that's their younger brother. So
yeah, I'm excited to see what Solo does. So I mean, the Usos already one of the best tag teams to ever do it. So
yeah,
it's gonna be cool.
That's dope, man. Yeah. Yeah, your dad is a legendary, bro. I just want to shout him out real quick because when I think of people who like genuinely like know wrestling and love it.
Oh yeah.
And just the people that as a wrestling fan you look at and you're like, yo, like if I had it like that guy, like I would just enjoy it to a whole nother level. Like that's definitely your dad. My brother's one of them too, James. Shout out to James. But
oh yeah.
I think, yeah, when you send me pictures of your dad just in these random places.
Yeah.
And then you find out that the apple doesn't fall too far away from the tree because you're doing the same thing.
Oh yeah,
that's it, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I might get to that level one day where I'm like doing weird stuff, but I mean, I love my dad. Sometimes the stuff that he does is borderline embarrassing. Like, yeah. But even this is what happened. So we were at dinner at a Yard House and then he called me. He's like, "Get over here, all the wrestlers over here." I'm like, "All right, cool. I'll hang out with some wrestlers." And then it's like Braun Strowman and what's the Raquel Rodriguez. Are sitting like literally table across from us, and he's yelling like things. He's like, "That's Braun Strowman over there. He's holding Raquel Rodriguez's hand. Look at him. He's checking Raquel's phone. He's looking over." I'm like, "Dude, calm down." And then I look at my mom. I'm like, "You believe this?" And my mom just looks at me like, "He's having fun. He's just doing his thing." And then that was kind of like a perspective change for me, where I'm like, "Yeah, I just gotta let him do his thing." And you know, that's not my thing, but that's his thing. I just gotta let him be happy, have fun. So with it. I'm more of a guy. I just like to be around the wrestlers and like, you know, just be around them. Like if I'm at, you know, having dinner, we're having dinner together. That's like that whole night. Wrestlers are coming through. Edge was there. I forget there's a European champion from NXT was there. Yeah. Austin Theory was. It was a good time. But yeah, my dad's crazy.
Your dad, crazy in the best way possible.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Awesome. But yeah, I mean, I love it, Rick. Yeah, it's cool talking to you about wrestling because obviously, like, I got another wrestling geek to nerd out with. You know?
Yeah,
definitely. And then you tell me your stories about your dad. It just reminds me of my childhood growing up. So, and I think that's the beautiful thing about wrestling. Like, whether you watch it now or you know, or whether you do, like, I think we can all agree on at some point in our lives we watch wrestling.
And someone has seen a wrestling match at one point in their life.
You had to. It was just it. And so
yeah.
Yeah, but you know, real quick to end off on the Bret Hart thing, real quick. I would just want to tell you that because your favorite wrestler of all time is Stone Cold.
Yeah,
I would say my favorite match of Bret Hart of all time is against Stone Cold.
Was it which one was that?
It wasn't WrestleMania 13. A lot of people would say that. That's the one where you remember he passed out. He was bleeding. That was amazing.
Yeah.
And that's actually cool too. We can get into that later. But my favorite one was the one I think the year before that because I think 13 was 97. Sorry if my dates are wrong. If they are, wrestling fans, correct me in the comments. But I would say that in 96 Survivor Series, that match against Stone Cold was it, bro. Because that was the setup of for us as fans to see the next great champion. Right? Okay. You even listen to Stone Cold now, like he will always big up Bret Hart as being the guy who gave him a platform. To move up in that attitude era and be that guy. Yeah. And I love the storytelling. And that's what you're going to get when you watch a lot of Bret Hart, especially in the ring storytelling. You could see that, you know, Stone Cold was the stronger dude. Like he was just beating him up, right?
Yeah.
And then I believe it was this match where he actually like outsmarted him in the end. And that's how he beat Stone Cold, like with the I think it was like a roll-up pin or something like that. And he beat him and that was it, you know? But that's just to let us know, like, yo, like, yeah, Stone Cold is it, but Bret Hart still got it right now. Like, you know what I mean? And it's going to take a little bit for Stone Cold to get to that point, which he ultimately did and became he's the biggest wrestler for the business, in my opinion. Like, yeah, he's amazing. So, yeah, shout out to you liking Stone Cold, bro, because I love him too. And I would say that's my favorite Bret Hart match.
Oh, yeah, Stone Cold. And you're talking about storytelling, talking about people putting people over. Let's get into bring it back to today real quick.
Come on.
We can jump around all day, but let's get it on this topic because we're coming off of WrestleMania. Who didn't finish the story? Your boy Cody. What happened, dude? What do you think about that call? What do you think about the match? Build up, all of it. Was it the right decision? People are pissed.
People are pissed. In my section, people were pissed. You could just hear them like,
oh yeah,
no. Like everyone in that stadium was like, he's gonna win, and they were waiting for that. They were at the edge. The fans wanted it. But me personally, that was the right call. He had to lose that match, because think about it. Like, if Cody wins that match, then what's next?
Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying that are in favor of Roman winning that.
Yeah, I mean, what's next, right? He's got the belts, and I feel like thinking about him at AEW, right? Like, you know, he was one of the pillars. So naturally, I think as us fans thought that, you know, Cody was just going to be fed these opportunities and just be the man there. But he sort of laid low. I think he had the TNT title or something crazy like that, right?
Yeah. I mean, he took himself out of the title picture pretty quick. He did that match he lost. So you can't challenge for the AEW world champion anymore.
Yeah. And so I see that. And then I see him coming over to WWE and everyone losing their mind thinking like, okay, he's going to be the guy. And I think, eventually he's going to be the guy, because in my opinion, he's arguably probably the best wrestler right now in the business. Like, I mean, and I say that arguably because you can make a case for a lot of other wrestlers, but for him to do what he did.
He had some of the best matches in WWE last year for sure.
Oh, my favorite match with Seth. Yeah.
He had three really good matches. I think he had two like actually like, wow, that was wrestling matches with Seth. So
yeah. So, but I think him losing this though creates the opportunity for him to be that underdog, because we can all get around the underdog.
Oh, right? Yeah.
And then the whole thing with Brock, like I heard people not liking that. Like I loved it, because now he's got to go against Brock, right? And I hope Brock just like stomps him out and he somehow comes out and wins. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Because then we see like this resilience, and we get behind the underdog, this guy that's just getting pummeled by these bigger wrestlers. And, you know, I'm talking about in terms of size, but, you know, also big. Like Brock was a big dude, like, you know, as a superstar. So it's dope. I think this is gonna be the buildup. And and my brother told me this, and I'm gonna give him a shout out. He said, remember Dusty? He said Dusty was always about the story.
Yeah.
Like that was, and so you see it in Cody, and I'm like, okay, I get it. So I think there's gonna be a greater story here. And when he gets that belt, which I think he will, it's just gonna be great. So mine.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point to say that, you know, if Cody wins, then there's not much more of a story to tell.
Yeah.
However, I was listening to the Busted Open podcast this morning, and they were talking about this exact topic. I don't even know the people on there. No, Bully Ray's on there, Mark Henry's on there, but this guy was pissed that they didn't give it to Cody, because you could say, okay, we're going to give it to Cody at SummerSlam. We're going to give it to Cody next year's WrestleMania, and we're going to build the story even more. He does have a place to go. Story's not over. He's going to win. He has to win it. It doesn't make sense for him not to win it in the next year or two. But I feel like they had us in the palm of their hands. They had a sold-out SoFi Stadium 2 nights in a row, and we were all ready for Cody to win it. So I think that, and they repeated this, the guy on the podcast, he said, something along the lines of, they're not going to get a bigger moment than they got at SoFi. And I'm like, yeah, there's more story to be told. You can squeeze like the juice out of this as long as you possibly can, but it's not going to be as sweet at the end of the day. I don't think so. And you can make the assumption like he's got to go through more struggles. Brock's got to squash him, and it'll be sweet in that sense. But the moment, I don't think will be as crazy as it would be if he had beat Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39 in LA with a sold out SoFi Stadium.
That's a fair point. I could see that, definitely, you know?
Yeah. I was wanting Cody to win for sure. I thought in like that last minute or two, when Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens came out to help, I thought, oh, they're going to do this. They're going to give it to him. And then I was sitting in the front, and then I saw Solo Sikoa come through, and I'm like, man, this fool's gonna interfere, and Cody's gonna lose again. Sure enough, gave him the thumb to the throat, and Roman spears him 1, 2, 3. I feel like I've seen it every match pretty much that Roman's defended the belt. So I was kind of like, I'm kind of tired of seeing this. Let's do something new. Yeah. So I wasn't. I think, because it's fine, because the storyline can go both ways. I don't think you're going to get a better moment than what we would have had at WrestleMania 39. But it's fine. It's fine because Cody will eventually finish the story. The fans will get what we want. And it's not a big deal right now. I think a really big deal right now is, big talk right now is Vince is back.
Oh, yeah.
So they're saying that Vince had something to do with the finish at WrestleMania 39. He might have. I don't know. I feel like it was a fine finish. Like, fans didn't go home happy, but I think the story can go either way.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What do you think about Vince coming back? You think he had anything to do with the story at the end of WrestleMania 39? Anything like that?
I don't think in the end of I don't think the outcome. I think it was. I think the outcome was already set. And it's funny because I heard some people say that, nah, this is Triple H getting one back on the throne breaker. I
would say that.
Yeah.
I would say Triple H not going to let that go. He's not going to forget that. He's also a good businessman, so Cody's going to win eventually. He's going to have to struggle for it.
Yeah, he's going to have to struggle for it. I don't think Vince. I don't know anything outside of what I think and what I read, but yeah, I don't think he had a say on that final result. Maybe he did, and maybe they were in agreement on Roman actually winning that match. So, yeah, I don't think that. It will be interesting to see the next few weeks and months on how creative is, because, I mean, WWE is hot, man. I think Triple H said that. Like, I mean, it's in the last year or so, like, it's just been picking up big time.
Yeah.
And I know that with the new deal with Endeavor, what's the dude's name? Emmanuel, the guy who runs Endeavor or whatever.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, Ari Emanuel. He went on record saying something like he wanted, or Vince said on his behalf that he wouldn't let him go. You know, right. He wanted Vince to be there. So I was like, yo, like,
which is interesting.
It's just interesting
because I feel like almost all wrestling fans don't want Vince touching anything WWE right now.
Right. So I don't know, man. We'll see. I'm hopeful, man. I just got to be hopeful. I got to be hopeful because what they have right now is too good to fumble. Like, you can't fumble this opportunity. Like you said, man, it could have went either way. If Cody would have won, like, it would have been a huge pop and we would have all been excited, right?
Yeah. Give the fan what we want.
Yeah, give the fans what you want. But now it's like, okay, you still got a lot to work with. And so don't fumble this. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Because the worst thing would be is if Cody he obviously didn't win, and then now you fumble this. And like, he's somewhere lost in the shuffle of the cards and you can't follow his story. There's something different. Like, it'd be like, yo, this is ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, I think that's true. It's everyone is freaking out, and it's like it's a little too early to freak out. Although that Raw after Mania was a little. Did you watch it?
I watched a little bit of it, but from what you were telling me, what did you think of it?
I was there. It sucked. Really,
man.
It sucked pretty bad. There was spots where I'm just like, what's going on? And it was kind of. I was like, okay, I guess Seth Rollins comes out, does his little song, and then I guess that segment gets cut short, throws the microphone, and just walks out. And people were saying like Vince was rewriting as the show was going on. He was making the shots, making the call. So I think, like I said, I don't know if he was doing WrestleMania 39, but it seemed like he was definitely doing Raw. And so I'm curious. We're filming this episode of this podcast on Friday, so I'm curious to see what happens tonight on Good Friday SmackDown.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. See what happens. See if anyone gets crucified or not. But we will see.
Yeah.
How it goes from here. I'm being patient. I'm being hopeful, like you, and I'm hoping that Vince doesn't ruin what Triple H built over the last 9 or so months without him over creative.
Yeah. No, definitely, man. It's crazy because you were at the whole wrestling week. Like how was that? I just got to ask, how was that whole week?
So I was there Wednesday. I think they might have started a show or two on Tuesday. I was there Wednesday to Monday night, and I'm probably never going to do that again. I was freaking tired. I'm still tired right now. I'm like waking up like every day. I'm like, dude, I'm still recovering. It was weird, but that might be too much wrestling even for me.
Right.
So I might just do Friday to Monday next time.
Okay.
But we did some VXS on Wednesday night. That was good. JTG was there. Some other pretty good indie guys were there. We did Santino Bros on Thursday. And that was part of the GCW actually collective. And then on Friday we did Ring of Honor, which actually was an underwhelming show that I thought was going to steal the weekend, but it didn't. Like the Dante Martin injury was probably the craziest part for sure. And then I thought they were going to give the belt to Eddie Kingston too, but they didn't do that. And then Sunday, we ended up going to NXT, and that was actually felt like old NXT. It was a really good show. The women's ladder match was really good. The 5-man match with what's his Lee? I forget his name. There's Dragon Lee, and then there's Wesley. Wesley's the champ. Yeah. That was probably my favorite match of the entire week. Was that 5-man? I don't know what you call a 5-man scramble match, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, I would check that one out. Recommend that one, and then Saturday, Sunday WrestleMania, and then Monday was Raw. That was very disappointing for me, but it was chill. I mean, I got to the floor both nights of WrestleMania, and that was stimulation overload. So
overload. Tell me about that, bro, because you were sitting with me, and then we had a little issue up there. We're not going to go on record and talk about that, but there was a little issue. You had to leave, and then you so my wife is taking a video, right?
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, mind you, we were just kind of sharing texts here and there, but the service was so bad that
service was bad.
You know, I didn't know where you were, so my wife's taking a video, and all of a sudden, I'm like, "Yo, that zoom in on that real quick." And there goes Rick right there with his headband. He's like in the front row.
I'm in like the front row, dude. Let me tell that story real quick. Yeah. So you were in like the 100 sections, right?
Yeah, it was in the hundreds.
You were in the hundreds, so you were a pretty lower level. I think I had bought my ticket like just before walking in.
Yeah.
I took the Stone Cold Express there. Shout out to El Segundo Brewery. But I get in, I get my ticket. My tickets were probably, I don't even remember, dude. I spent like $260 for a ticket, and 200 sections probably, and it was a whole mission just to get to your section.
Dang.
Had to send me a screenshot. I bought my ticket, so I don't feel bad about telling the story. Right. I sent me a screenshot, and I got to your section eventually. Shout out to Nathan Butler. Couldn't make it down there. He tried. Try
to get our boy Nate down there, man.
I got to teach him some things, but I get to your section. I chill there for probably about an hour. You went to go get me like a hot dog, nachos, all that. Yeah. So I appreciate that. And then you come back, and we're hanging for probably like half a match. And then someone gets their seat. So I don't have a seat in their section. So the people come back, and I'm trying to stay there. Like Dennis said, there was some altercation. Not really an altercation, but it was just I wasn't able to stay there. So I'm like, all right, I gotta go find a seat. I'll check you later. And then I see an opportunity, and I take my opportunity. The guy at the front, so to get to the floor section, had his back turned. I'm like, well, here I go. So I just walk on the floor, and no one stops me. No one says anything. I keep in mind, my conscience is clear. I didn't have to lie this whole time, pretty much, kind of. And then so I'm hopping from seat to seat. People are coming back to their seat. I'm like, all right, no problem. I'll go find another seat. And then eventually, this is right as the Shane McMahon stuff is about to happen, where Snoop Dogg's in the ring, Miz is in the ring. I see someone with the whole entourage coming to go to the front. They're on the hard cam side, so not facing the hard cam. Their backs to the hard cam. And this whole entourage, I'm like, who is that? They got dreads on. I'm like, it's probably like a rapper or something. And then I see like a profile view. I'm like, oh, shoot, that's Wiz Khalifa. So I'm like, all right, Wiz, let's see if you can get me to the front. So I pretend to be in their entourage. No one says anything. I get to the front row, and I'm like, all right, now I got to find a freaking seat. Find a seat in like the fourth row back. I don't know, I'm just chilling there. No one comes the whole rest of the show. I see Shane blow his quad out. I see the freaking ladder match. Finn gets busted open. I see all that. And then I think like right when the main event is about to start is when a couple of celebs come down. Wale comes, sits right in front of me. Jalen Ramsey comes, sits right in front of me. They're pretty cool people. Wale's like actually a big wrestling fan. Jalen Ramsey had no idea what was going on. It was pretty funny. But yeah, I just chilled there from, the Miz, Snoop Dogg, Vince McMahon stuff all the way to the end of the show. And that was a WrestleMania moment I'll never forget, hanging out with those guys.
That was amazing. Then you sent me a picture where you was like best friends with both of them. And I was just like, yo.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, it's Rick.
I was looking at Jalen Ramsey was looking at me. He's putting up the twos every time Roman kicked out at 2. And I was putting up the twos every time Cody kicked out. And George Kittle was in the next section over, and he was it was funny because I saw George Kittle the day before at the hotel. Yeah. I just walked by, made eye contact with him, and I was like, "Oh shoot, that's George Kittle." I didn't do nothing, but then so we see him the next day, or I see him the next day, and he's like making weird eye contact with me, like he's looking at me like, "Do I know this guy?" It's kind of it was weird, but Yeah, he was funny too because he's actually a big wrestling fan. He keeps up with all this stuff. He was doing something the day before, right, where he beat up the Miz.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think it is? That eye contact was like, something universal that probably we'll all have, because Rick is like, where's Waldo when it comes to like wrestling events? So we're gonna keep our eyes on like any photos and see like, where's Rick? And you're gonna find Rick. Oh,
you gotta find
Rick,
me
though, right there. Circle him, because you're all over the place, man. So yeah, I definitely think that he saw you and he was like, I'd seen that guy before. Like,
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. If you go back on the WrestleMania match and you see the skirmish where the Usos get taken out by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn on that main event match, and they go into the crowd, I'm in there for like half a second. So look for me. I got the American bandana on.
I love it. Hey Rick, I gotta ask you a question though, bro. Like, recapping WrestleMania, what was the one match for you that was just like, that's the match of the weekend? Like, what is it? Or is it two? Is it one on Saturday and another one on Sunday?
I think Saturday took the cake for sure. I mean, Sunday you got, and you missed it, bro. I don't know if you rewatched it, but Gunther, Sheamus, and what's a Drew McIntyre match? That was some like old school. Oh dang, my bad. Got the window open. We got some old school wrestling that took place on Sunday, and that was really good. So I think that as far as wrestling goes, that took the cake for Sunday, and then Saturday it was Charlotte and Rhea had a really good wrestling match. Rhea won the belt, and then the Usos, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. That was a moment of the weekend, I would say.
Yeah.
But, what do you think?
So Saturday, I'm gonna go with the tag team matches.
Yeah.
The Usos and Sami and Kevin Owens. Sunday, you know what's funny is that I didn't see the beginning or a lot of that match because I was back there getting food, right?
Yeah.
So those lines were insane. I actually left during the match before that,
Lines
which
were
was like
crazy.
a 5-6. I forgot who is it. Ronda and a bunch of other people, wrestlers. I don't remember, but we left, and that's when we went to go get some food. And I'm thinking I'll be right back. And nah, bro, we was in that line for a minute, and we missed that part. But you know what's crazy is that I heard Gunther's chops from inside.
Oh yeah,
you could hear it's like, bam, it was like a gunshot. I was like, yo, what is that?
Yeah.
And yo, homeboy is just chopping them up. And so when I went back and watched the video, I was like, yo, that was crazy.
There's some Walter shot.
Walter, my guy Walter was out there like, wow, mira papi.
Walter chops are different, dude.
Walter.
When he wants to go back, he'll be big old Walter again. Ring it around.
Yo, why are we calling Walter? Like he's supposed to be Cuban or something?
You, bro. You make up some funny names. I don't know.
Walter, yo, he should come out with a bandera like a Puerto Rican and hold it down for us and just give somebody a chop. Boom, like the way mommy used to slap us, like boom. And call him Walter. That would have been nah. But yo, you can hear that. Yeah, it was definitely up there as like, but I really did like the main event, bro.
It was good. It was a good wrestling match.
Yeah.
It told a story, and it was definitely good wrestling. I'll say that. I didn't like the finish because I feel like I've seen it over and over at every pay-per-view that Roman defends his title. So
nah, I get it, man. I get it. Yo, so Rick, I also want to ask you, bro. So recapping the week of wrestling, you had sent me a clip that you asked Mick Foley a question.
Yeah.
At one of these little breakout sessions or something. And I was been thinking about like, so you asked him who in wrestling right now in all promotions has
all
that
promotions.
Yeah. And he gave us I forgot who he said.
He said he messed around and said Triple H, and then he said my real answer is Becky Lynch.
Okay.
Which was an interesting answer because Becky Lynch is already established multi-women's champion, and I was like, all right, that's a pretty safe answer.
Yeah. But what about you, bro? Like, who do you think right now in wrestling has that it?
I would say the it factor in all promotions. I think another easy answer, I know Mick Foley gave an easy answer, would be MJF. And he's going to be involved in the bidding war of 2024 as probably at least one of the highest paid wrestlers that we've seen maybe ever. And dude has the best contract ever because he never wrestles. But his mic skills, top in the business, maybe best in the business.
Yeah.
I would say personal favorite for me right now that has the it factor that I think should be pushed to the moon. One, because he doesn't have a lot of time. He's getting up in age. But two, he's just hot right now. The fans love him. you hear it in the stands. You hear, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
My boy LA Knight, who didn't even get no love in LA on WrestleMania, but the fans were there for it. I was sitting next to a guy that dressed up, looked exactly like LA Knight. I think his name was LA Reese or something, but he's got the skills to pay the bills. He's good on the mic. He can cut a promo. His wrestling is solid. In WWE, I think he's a top guy for sure that WWE can push and the fans can get behind. So I wouldn't put him. I'd give him a nice slow build. Maybe give him the Intercontinental champ. Maybe have him beat Gunther, and that'll get him over.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a heel right now, so maybe he can turn face, and we'll see what happens.
We'll see. I agree, man. I do like LA Knight. Surprised that he wasn't at WrestleMania.
Really surprised.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Who do you think has the it factor right now for in your opinion, Dennis?
It factor across all promotions. I'm gonna go with Austin Theory.
Really?
I'm gonna go with Austin Theory. So that's me going out like, swinging kind of for the fences on that one, because there's a lot of people you can go with, right? Like MJF, I would certainly agree. LA Knight has an it factor, and then anybody else that you pretty much see all the time.
Sure.
Yeah, but I like Austin Theory because I can see the potential. I can see what it could develop into. Anytime you watch a wrestler and you just hate that guy, you're like, I really just genuinely if I seen him, I wanted to like.
He definitely has a face you just want to punch.
Yeah, he has that, and the way he acts, like it's just like spoiled, like he just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think with that, like when a wrestler can make you feel like that, like you're like, yo, like that's So I think, and I also think he could wrestle. I think he's good. He's a
good wrestler.
Yeah, he's good in the ring, man. Like he's entertaining.
Yeah.
I think he has a lot of potential. So
yeah, I mean. This feud with Cena roasted him pretty bad. I think it was Raw, but and we saw what happened to Roman after Cena roasted him. He just became all of a sudden a promo god, where Roman can actually cut some solid promos now. So maybe Theory can be able to cut some solid promos, because he's straight. I feel like he struggles in that department.
Yeah, he does. I think he does. Where it's just interesting because for me, MJF is a guy that's just golden on the mic. Yeah. But when I watch him in the ring, I'm like, Mahone. What
about that match between him and Danielson though?
That was okay. Like I give him a little bit more there. You know what I'm saying? But I just need to see more of him in the ring. But like you said, he's got this contract where he doesn't really need to be in the ring. And what's brilliant about him is that he doesn't necessarily always need to be in the ring. You know what I mean? Because it's like you're still gonna like wow out to see him.
Oh yeah, he gets the crowd going for sure.
Yeah, like you still want to see him. So I think he's very smart, and I agree. He's up there as definitely the guy with the it factor. I like him on the mic. I need to see a little bit more of him in the ring, though. Yeah. That one match was cool, but let's keep it going. Like, I understand you probably contracts or whatever, but as wrestling fans, like, we want to see you work, bro. We want to see you get down, some of the best people. So
it's true.
Yeah. So that I would say that. Rick, this is a random question, but since we're on WrestleMania, you talked about LA Knight. What's the news on Bray Wyatt?
I know he was at WrestleMania.
Was he at WrestleMania?
He was there. He was in LA. He probably was backstage, I would assume. But he was on some of the promotion stuff I saw on like Raw too. Like, how they had the setup with the movie posters. I saw him on a couple of those when they were promoting it. But
we talk about it factors, like Bray is it too, man. Creatively, he is insane.
Oh yeah, creatively he's in another level than like literally everyone.
And I even like him in the ring too. Like I feel like
he's solid.
He's solid in the ring. I'm gonna keep it real though, and I love Bray Wyatt, man. He's dope. But that match with LA Knight, bro,
that's what got me to liking LA Knight. I mean,
really?
I know he was Eli Drake before, and he was Max Dupree or whatever, and he was LA Knight in NXT. But I had never even. I'm gonna be honest. I'd never heard of LA Knight, Eli Drake before that feud with. It was way too long of a feud too. It was like a couple months, I think. And I was just like, I don't know what's going on here, but I love LA Knight now, and Bray Wyatt's doing some weird stuff. Don't know where this is gonna go, but LA Knight's at least making sense. So
yeah, I get with that, because we see more of LA Knight there, and that's what can make people even love him more and get into him. I just remember that whole thing where he jumped down and like.
And they had the Firefly Funhouse people.
Yeah, like, yo, bro, like it was like way super wide. Like you could totally see that he was off. It just, that ending was kind of like, wow.
Yeah, I don't know if they just scrapped everything or they're putting it on hold or what. Because Uncle Howdy,
we don't see that.
Bo Dallas, I'm pretty sure it's Bo Dallas, but Uncle Howdy
Dally.
and they were even doing stuff with Alexa Bliss. And now it just seems like I don't know what happened. Bray Wyatt's going through mental stuff or what's going on, but I don't know what's going on with Bray Wyatt because he just came back and the comeback was epic. And then you have this slow build to a feud with LA Knight, and it seems like Bray Wyatt was supposed to get put over and launch him into his next chapter of, doing something hopefully with a title or something. But LA Knight came out on top, in my opinion, in that feud. And
absolutely.
And now we don't even know where Bray Wyatt's at.
Yeah. Well, rumor has it that Bray Wyatt wasn't like a Vince guy. Like Vince was not into Bray Wyatt from what I've read in rumors, and so maybe something has something to do with it, with Vince getting back on the scene and having some sort of creative control early on, or say on that. I don't know. I do think Bray Wyatt's stories are a little too long. You know what I'm saying? And then the ending on that with the whole LA Knight thing, and I wasn't really feeling that. But I'm not gonna charge that too much on him. I think he's still great. I still like him in the ring. I still like his gimmick. I think creatively he's insane, and there's a lot there. I'd certainly like to see more of him. And so, him not being in Mania was okay. I get it. But I think about some of the superstars that could have been in there that didn't. He kind of comes to mind. Yeah,
I mean, you got like all the weird, creepy, crazy stuff going on with that happened with Edge and the Demon. I was like, you could have thrown Bray Wyatt in there for
real quick,
start a feud for the next chapter. But
he could have saved that match. Maybe, you know what I mean?
Maybe he comes in and Finn doesn't have to take 15 staples to the head,
right?
So,
well, wasn't that crazy? Because I actually watched the actual WrestleMania on the TV, and they just show Edge moving around like looking for stuff, right?
Oh, he's
stalling, right? Totally. But for us, we actually see like medical personnel come out, like they're giving him some stuff, and I'm like, oh crap, like this guy.
On TV they're not showing none of it because he's busted open for real.
Busted on me. Yeah, that was crazy. But you know what? That's shout out to Edge, man. He's a veteran in the game. Like,
oh yeah.
Something like that could have easily just ended the match right then and there. And we all would have been like, what the hell? Like, he improvised real quick. It reminded me of Owen Hart and Stone Cold. Remember that injury that Stone Cold took on the pile driver from Owen Hart? Like, Stone Cold was really injured. So what does Owen do? Like, he gives him a breather. He starts walking around the ring. He starts like improvising, right? Getting like the attention off of what's really going on, like with that dude being injured and trying to work something out, right? Like, so you see veterans do that. Like, you throw somebody else in the ring that's like brand new, like, I don't know how that match looks, but Edge did it dope, man. He started throwing,
he kept that intensity up. He wasn't like, oh shoot, this guy's busted open, like acting all scared. Now you got to maintain character. I mean, and on that note, on that same night, literally the thing that happened right before, shout out to Snoop Dogg for, I don't know if anyone told him that, if the ref told him, hey, get in here and drop a people's elbow, but he's not even a wrestler, and he improv like a champ.
He did, but you know what? Watch. I'm going to send you the clip, but someone posted it. It was actually on it was televised, but the referee, she was on a headpiece. You can see it. She grabs her ear, and you can hear her say, "The people's elbow, the people's elbow."
Oh, okay.
So she gave him like the cue to do it, and he did it well.
Yeah,
it was timed perfect. I thought how he did the whole, didn't have the elbow pads, but I got the shades.
Man, I almost caught those glasses. A few people over.
Hey, man. That would have been dope, Rick, if you'd have got some Snoop shades. Would you have worn them that night?
Dude, I would have worn them as soon as he threw them to me, man. I would have tried to probably actually put them in my pocket because I don't want them trying to take it away from me. I don't want to try to take it back. You know what I'm saying? Those are probably some expensive shades.
Come on. Yeah. That was crazy. Yeah, he improv that, and that was dope. But yeah, man, I don't know. For me, night one, definitely the Usos, that tag match, and then night two was, I'm going to have to go with the main event. Although there is a very strong case for Gunther El Voltaire, as we call him.
Voltaire.
He needs to be one of our people. You know what I'm saying? Bring back the Los Boricuas, man. I don't know if nobody remembers that, but that was Savio Vega, all them Puerto Ricans, man, that we used to have in WWE. We need to bring that back. We got the Usos now, you know what I'm saying, holding it down for the Polys and Samoans. We need the Boricuas. And let's start with Walter.
Those Boricuas.
Come on. Yeah. But, man, overall, Rick, this was an amazing experience, bro. Thank you so much, man, for just always putting me on wrestling, man, keeping me on my toes with it, bro, because
always,
I am a wrestling nerd. And for those of you watching who want to talk about this is fake, look, them shows you watching right now is 100% fake. Randall, 100% fake. You feel me?
Yeah.
Them friends you probably hanging out with, I'm not talking around. I'm just talking out loud.
I'm talking to Randall.
Fake, right?
Fake.
We're living in this world, but no, it's the story, right? Like, and it's just like watching another TV show. It's like, it's just, it's something that captivates you. It's enjoyable. Like I said, it's nostalgic. There's just so much that goes into the show, man, and this company. And so I think it's wonderful. Rick, tell me why you like wrestling so much, though. I do want to end it off on that if we're going to end it.
I like wrestling so much because I really didn't have a choice but to like it growing up.
Your dad was like, you better like wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, you grow up and you're shaped by, the things around you. And so I feel like I just liked it. I mean, I was talking about it with my family, actually. My sister did a similar thing that I did where I grew up watching it, loved it. Eventually like junior high school, and I was like, I don't really like it no more. I graduated high school, and then I'm like, all right, let's try to get back into it. So she did the same thing I did as far as like time period of liking it, not liking it again. But I would say we're having a whole podcast about it. Like I'm a wrestling fan for life. So what I like about it, I like that. I just like the entertainment of it. It's sports entertainment. It's like nothing that we've ever seen before, and I feel like it's always been around. And I think it will continue to always be around. It's not really going anywhere. It seems like wrestling business is booming right now, especially with two elite companies that'll be in competition with each other. It seems like for a while.
Yeah.
So what do you think? What's your favorite part about the wrestling business, sports entertainment?
That's a great question, man. I think what I love about it is, well, right now it's the nostalgia. Like when I sit down and I watch it, like I think about like how this has evolved and how it brings me back to a time in my childhood I would watch all the wrestling videos.
Yeah.
So it's crazy though. Like we watch wrestling now and it's so different, Rick, and you could relate to this as well. Like for me, I watch wrestling pre-internet era. So you actually had to watch wrestling every single week, like to really keep up with what was going on.
It's true.
You know what I'm saying? Or what you could do is, this is before the internet, they used to have a telephone number that you would call in and it would give you all the scoop on the rumors and what was happening. Like nowadays, bro, we just go to Twitter and we just look and we see, everything there. But back then, bro, there used to be a number. It was like 909 something 9900 that WCW used to, and you had to pay for it. It was like $4.99 a minute or something stupid that. It was insane, and my mom used to be killing me. She'd be like, Dennis, is this you again? I'm like, no, Ma, I didn't do it, my bad. I just want to see what's happening. So you'd have to call and they tell you the scoop or whatever. But that's how it was back then. And so like I get those memories. Like when I watch and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember. Like we actually had to watch it every single week. Like there was the pay-per-view that you paid $49.99 for. It wasn't on Peacock or anything like that. And then that Monday you was at school talking to your friends like, yo, did you see that match? Yeah, we got to watch Raw tonight and see the recap. And you waiting for the promo because they always kick it off with the promo, right? And so, man, I just, like I said, the nostalgia of it, like bringing me back to that time, it reminds me of all them cool things. And I think now, and secondly, what I love about wrestling is just the entertainment factor, the physicality. I mean, just, you've got to be an athlete to a degree to really be in there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Be like Shane McMahon blowing your quad out. Come on now.
Yo, come on. That's two McMahons with blown quads.
I feel bad for him, but at the same time, it's like, come on. We could have had LA Knight instead.
We could have had LA Knight. Come on.
Yeah, I feel the nostalgia, man. It's always going to be a thing for me. And, hopefully my kids like wrestling and it'll be a generational thing. Yeah. I started with my dad. So
that's right. Yeah. I'm trying to get my girls like it, but my wife is like, no, I don't want them watching that. I'm like, I get it. Like, it's crazy, but my youngest one, she's sick with it. She's like,
she got
the belt. I showed you, she got the belt. She was like, she was in it, bro. So I think we still got a wrestling fan there. Although Maylee will watch with me and stuff. So it's cool. Like you said, it's a family thing, and so that's what makes it fun. And then right now, it was really a bridge for me and my brother. So
for sure.
Yeah,
I remember that.
Yeah, so me and my brother got reconnected back like when I was 22 years old. Which was yesterday, you know what I'm saying? Shout out, 22, some time ago. But then we you know, we would text here and there, and then during I think 2015, like it was just on my heart, like I need to reach out to my brother again, man. I just missed him, you know, and missed that I had a brother that, you know, was, you know, we was made for each other, and I found that out when we started talking about wrestling because it was a love of mine as a kid, and we were miles apart, like I was 3,000 miles away, and as he was, you know, he's older than me. He was watching wrestling at the same time I was watching wrestling. And so now when we talk on the phone, we recap those moments like, yo, you remember that? Like, and anytime I have questions, we talk about it. So yeah, it's going to be a big part of me for a while. And I certainly hope we can get more people on board with it, Rick, because it's a great show.
Come on now. Yeah. I'm realizing I have a lot more wrestling fans in my life. Shout out to Nathan Butler. Shout out to guys like
let's go.
Nonstop Jay Blancett and those are the people that come to my mind when come on. But yeah, man, I think that's a good place to end it right there. I'm gonna cut this little promo on Randall D real quick.
Let's go. Hey, you want to wear the belt? You gotta wear the belt, homie.
Let me wear the belt.
Yeah, let's go. Randall, look at that belt.
Randall, tell me this belt ain't real. Come on now. All right, check this out. That's how I want to end the show. Wrestling is real. People are fake, including you, Randall D. And if you're not down with that, I got 2 words for you. Suck it.
You already know.
All right, later, fam.
Later, y'all.